That's really important for us to, you know, to get to know each other beyond this space, just like our Zooms, you know, because how many weeks has it been? Has it only been 3 weeks?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so
We finished our third week. Yeah.
yeah, this is the third week. It seems like we've been here for months.
I
um,
know.
so on that note, I want to start with just really focusing and just keep this positive energy going. So I want to hear what everybody's big win was this week. I know it was a full week. There was a lot to do. And we did get that day off today, and yesterday we were busy. So I want to hear what, just like I'm sure everybody else wants to hear everybody's wins. So we'll start. I don't know what your screen looks like, but mine's probably different. So we're going to start with Serena because I know you're the farthest away. So we'll
My biggest win was making it to the summit. That was my biggest win. Being able to learn a lot was also a big win. But I think for me, it was like trying to balance every single thing during the week, knowing that I had to travel on Friday and that I'd be, you know, it was a long day, but I think my biggest one was making it to the summit because I was like, oh my God, am I going to be able to do it or not? So I think that was my win. I just went with it.
That's great. What was your favorite part of the summit?
Definitely hearing all the speakers because everyone had something different to say. And, you know, it gives you a different insight to different products that like normally like what we kind of read on is different from what other people do versus like using and like their own experience.
Right, right. I think when you hit the nail on the head when they say they talk about their own experience and having that validation for somebody that's used the products in so long and they have these extreme cases. I think it brings that home to me as well. So that's good. What was your biggest challenge this week?
Time. I think for me it's been time because I mean work was a little bit crazy this past week, so it was like, you know, trying to get my assignments done and then like getting myself prepared for this trip because I wasn't prepared at all. Um, Even though Yolanda had stuff ready for me, I was just like, I don't like, you know, it's nice, but I'm like, oh, I feel so bad when people, I guess for me, it's like, I feel so bad when they go out all the way for me when I'm like, no, it's okay. I could bring my own stuff. But I think just getting myself prepared because I'm a procrastinator when it comes to, you know, getting packed and ready to go for a trip. But I guess time would be my little kick in the pants this week.
Well, you did pretty good because it looked like you were not struggling with time at all this week. And just
I don't know how I
let
did
you
it.
know, I don't think people are going. I think when people go out of their way for you, or when people do something lovely for you, just take it and accept it, and don't say no, I don't like it. No, girl, you're deserving. You know, you're the one that went out of your way to be with everybody this weekend. So thumbs up for that. I think that's awesome. Okay, Kathy, what was your biggest win this week?
Biggest win for me was getting there yesterday and surviving the day. And I really expected to be flat in bed today, and I wasn't. So I know I can push myself a little bit further and make it. You know, I never did so much walking since before in a year.
That's
So,
good. That's good.
So that was good for me. It put, you know, it gave me a push. I know my leg will last that long now.
That's good.
And
what was your biggest challenge? The biggest thing that you felt like you were challenged with this week?
This week I was challenged. Let's see. I didn't make the calls that I should have made. I just was kind of brain dead about it. And I recognize it may be from fear. But it was just my brain wasn't working real well this week. And the other thing is I I don't know how I got off the vitamins for about 10 days.
Mm.
And so I finally on Wednesday refilled them and got refilled my little tray and got back on them. And in fact, today I don't think I remember to take many today. Um, so that's really important to my energy level
Yeah.
and my brain functioning. It just all the things they were talking about, the LLV and then the different oils and the balancing the oils throughout the day, and really I feel that in my energy level and in my brain function.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that was probably the biggest challenge.
Just because I'm being nosy, what other supplements do you take besides the LLV?
I take the Tri-Ease, I take the Terrazyme, I take um, Deep Blue capsules.
Okay. So the only ones that you were off was just your LLV, and you really felt that?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did Shirley Ann think of the summit?
Shirley Ann seemed to get excited. There's other oils now that she wants. I don't know if it brought her enough excitement to be a builder, but she is working on getting off all her prescription medicines and just using the oils for her problems. And so, the more she learns in that, and she's a studier, she'll look up things online and she'll do it on her own. She got a lot out of it.
Okay. What's been her biggest success with the oils? I haven't heard since that class.
Well, she's cut down her other medication. She said she's gradually going off her medication. So she's halfway off of what she was taking. She was having a little vaginal problem, and as long as she does the remedy that Grace suggested, it stays gone, and then if she forgets a day, it comes back. So it has to be a continual thing, but this is a problem she's had for years and years and never could get any help with it. So it's kind of a discharge without going any
Okay.
further.
And she's applying something and it's helping?
Grace said that, Tina said, I think she said put like a drop or two of Melaleuca on a cotton ball and just stick it in your underwear. Or if you wear a panty liner, just put it on the panty liner and just it be in there.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, that works for UTIs too.
That's what Grace used it for, I think.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great to hear.
I loved Angela's speech, really motivated me personally. Because what she did, 100 pounds in a year, I did about 5 years ago. And so I know it can be done, and I was really curious. I did it with food, similar to the Bright Line plan. But I think I want to try the Terra Greens and the protein drinks and stuff that doTERRA has, just because I know they're pure.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to have the fillers and things that I don't need. So.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, Angie, what was your biggest one this week?
To be honest, I can't totally remember this week. I think this was the week that I had one enrollment recently. I think it was this week.
Yeah, it was.
It might have been last week. I can't remember, but that, and I actually, I send out Facebook messages to just put it out there, and there were in the past, maybe in about the past month, I had connected with 2 people that actually have doTERRA oils that they had just bought, not a kit, but they had just bought, or someone gifted them, or somehow they just had these oils, but they weren't using them. And so I had offered, if you want to pull them out, then, I would totally be willing to help you use them and get to use them. So one of the ladies, she just texted me today. I connected with her a week and a half ago and had her use the oils for pain and sleep. And sorry, my kids are crazy today. So she texted me today and said, Angie, I don't know if it's the oils, but she's like, it must be. But I woke up for the first time today. Without any pain. And she was so grateful and was like, thank you so much. And that, when I hear stuff like that, that really is like the highlight of like just doing this and doing this. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, I see everybody say good night. Okay. Good night. So, yeah. Okay, good night. So that kind of thing has, I think, been a highlight. So I'm hoping that there's some other things. I told her, let's talk this in the next couple of days. I'm going to call her and I said, let's talk again just to, try some more stuff and add some things to your routine. And see.
Can you share what she used and what it was for?
She may have bought a kit before because she had most of the top 10 oils. Mm-hmm. And she actually bought like 2 bottles of frankincense. So I had her do the dropping frankincense under her tongue. She drops under her tongue. I had her drinking the lemon water every morning. And I had her using the deep blue and the deep blue and the frankincense topically too on her leg. And then her mom is 93 or something like that. Oh. And she has some chronic something, I can't remember, but she's like constantly in pain. So she can hardly get out of bed. She's so the lady that I know is 24-hour caretaker for her mom. Oh. And recently her brother passed away last year from cancer. So her mom is still grieving. So then I told her to use lavender for her and try just massaging lavender and coconut oil like on her mom. And then trying the deep blue on her back for her pain. So it was really kind of basic things. She didn't have Copaiba. I sent her a little sample of Copaiba. And then I sent her some veggie caps to kind of take internally as well. But yeah, I think that was it. I have it written down specifically.
Do you know how long ago she enrolled?
Years.
Oh, years. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you know the process if she decides she wants to
reactivate. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she reactivates, send an email, and request a new enroller and sponsor if she wants to come with you.
Can she go under customer service and confirm if she is in the system?
Yeah, with just her email address.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They can
so just say like, is this email address enrolled already?
Yeah,
okay.
And if it's not, she can just sign up as a regular person. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then the other friend, she pulled out she's just been diffusing every now and then, but she has a kid, and I was like, hey, how's your baby doing? And she was saying he's been constipated. And I said, well, so she had sent me a picture of what she has. So I was like, use the Digesta. And she's like, I diffuse it. And I know you can apply it topically. So she actually she was gifted a few oils by a friend, but she was never really told how to use them. And so I told her that I would contact her this week and just share how, just the oils she has, and then, kind of go from there. So, so those are some highlights for me.
What do you think was your biggest challenge besides time? Because I think I'm
Yeah.
kind of hearing that kind of like a theme that time has been a lot of most of the challenges for folks.
For me, I would say more than the time factor. And I had posted about this, feeling like I feel like I'm always in a catch-up mode. Even if I do fulfill all my intentions for the day, I think it's because I feel like there's so much, nothing feels completed. Like, for instance, if there's an assignment on sharing with someone about the business, so then it's like there's one day to really, from the assignments to focus on it and try to do that, and then the next day it's on to something else, but then that doesn't feel complete for me, like I got it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I think, kind of what the feeling has been this week.
So it's not that you don't feel like you learned it, but you don't have time to apply it?
Apply it and feel like I learned it.
Okay.
Yeah, like I feel like I know it.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely having to do it, once on the video is like an active way to engage in that and know, right? Because I believe the best way that you know someone is if you can teach someone, and so that really helps. But yeah, I think for me it takes some time to process things too, and so maybe it's that just needing or wanting more time to sit with something and feel like I have a handle on it or a grasp on it. So it's that, I think, for me.
Good. So I don't want it to be like awkward silence. I don't know what to do.
You didn't share, Vicki.
Oh, me. I think honestly the biggest win for me was just finally having the class that had been looming over me for like so long, and just get that out of the way. I think that was really good. I had been dreading it because I feel really comfortable speaking in front of people, but mostly strangers. I'm good with people that I don't necessarily have a history with, but these were all colleagues of mine. Some of the relationships that I had with these women were 20 years. And so it was really interesting. I was really nervous, but I also have that training in the back of my head, fake it till you make it. My first principal taught me that before I taught my very first class, when I was still wet behind the ears. And she said, they don't know what you don't know. So, and I hear Susie say that again and again. So it's like I have that record player in the back. So that's helpful. So that was a win. And I felt that I think I spoke with authority, and I think I came across knowledgeable. Internally, just like Angie, there's a lot of things that I'm insecure about. But I think for me, I think and I think I really understand what Angie's talking about. It's like, it's like we've had so much information to learn and to practice. And I know that I know it, and I know that it's in my brain. But until, just like Angie said, until we practice it, and until we're expected to actually do it in practice, in actual conversation with a customer, or when we're doing a follow-up, or we're doing all of that, that's when we really, I think, understand that we really do know what we've been taught in the last couple of weeks. And that just takes practice, and I think that just comes with time. Different situations are going to come up where we're going to be able to practice everything that we've been hearing and doing and learning in the last couple of weeks. So that can be a little overwhelming, and I think that was my challenge this week as well, kind of to like put everything in my schema, or in my mental Rolodex. And when people ask you things or ask me things, to be able to go into that mental Rolodex and just be like, boom, 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 like, and be able to answer with confidence. I think for me, the confidence, I'm a little still shaky on the confidence. And I think that just comes with time.
Yeah, for sure. And I was there, and I know for certain that people felt like you were the expert, and they didn't, they wanted to talk to you. They wanted to check with you. Like, because when I was talking to them, I'm a total stranger. And usually I kind of can interact with people before. And so I build a little bit of trust. And so by the end of the class, they're like open to listen to me. But in this case, like people were coming in, late and they didn't know who I was. And here I am just coming and talking to them. And they kind of let me talk them through the whole process. But at the end, to make a decision, they're like, I'm going to talk to Vicky. So like, so it's obvious that, they trust you and they really wanted to check with you and see what you thought. And so for sure, like that trust is there, that relationship is there. And, I know it's more nerve wracking. Like when I speak with parenting groups and stuff, if I see someone I know, it's so different. I have to like not look at them. I just look at the strangers, it's totally different because
But it was a large group. Like it was a
large too.
group.
Yeah.
And so I was really, and Grace came along. She's in my upline. And so I was really grateful that Grace was there and that you were there, because had it been by myself, it would have been over like in 2 minutes after I'd stopped talking.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was good that we were there. Even I felt like we could have used one more person.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too.
So
that's a good tip, you guys. If you guys have a really like large group, I mean, I think any group over 4 people, I would even say even larger than 3 people, it's hard for one person to handle. At least me, because I'm still so wet behind the ears.
Yeah.
I cannot do more than 3 people at a time by myself. And
yeah.
That would be challenging.
It should be 1 leader per 3 people. That's ideal. But the thing is, like, you never know how many are going to show up, right? So it's just lucky that you had 2 other people there anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we did the best we could. And I think it was everyone who was ready, got started. So it wasn't just that you did your class, you also enrolled people.
Yeah, I did enroll people.
So that's super exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of my friends that I enrolled, they were all newbies. Like none of them knew anything about oils except for Esther, which I'm going to talk about because she already has diffusers and she already has a bunch of oils. She was just there to get more information more than anything. But she was the only one, like nobody else knew anything about oils. And one of the people that enrolled, I gave her a keychain, and it was so funny. Those like keychains that you put like your mini oils in. There were only a couple of people left. And this is one of the girls that I have like a really long-standing relationship with. And I went up to her and she was really into the oil. She was like looking and what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And so at the end, I grabbed my little keychain, kind of like, like I'm going to hypnotize her. And I'm like, Dee Dee, do you want my keychain? I'm wondering how cool it is. She's like, what's that? And I'm like, look. And I said, if you get your calendar out right now, and if you try to schedule a class, and if you schedule one, I will go with my oils to your house. And for every person that shows up, I will fill that little bottle with whatever oil you want. She's like, what? And she got like totally excited. She put out a calendar. She scheduled a class. So that was really, really good. And these are all tips that I've learned like from Susie and from everybody else. And so I would have never thought of that, but it worked.
Yeah, we'll have to do that, Serena. Because that's actually, I mean, that's kind of the magic of doing classes and momentum, is that you are not just constantly like trying to reach for your warm market, but you're getting to other people's, right? And so if you can book classes off classes, if you can get referrals, then that's really how you grow your business. So I know in the beginning, like I didn't ever ask for referrals. I didn't ask anyone if they wanted to host a class. I'd just be relieved that I got through the class, and I would just focus on the enrollments. And then later I'd be like, oh, I didn't ask anyone. If they, wanted to do a class. So it's really important to do that while people are there. And So, and just let them know, like, we've practiced the script, make it super simple. Like, they don't have to do anything, just invite the people. It doesn't even have to be at your house. You don't even have to clean your house, you know? Like Pete always says, he just takes his arm and just scoots everything to the side on his table, and then people sit down, you know? So, like, make it super simple. You don't have to make a lot of stuff. We can meet at a coffee shop. So I'm going to, you know, I do that all the time. Panera is a great place, or even just out on the patio at Starbucks. So it doesn't matter. Just get together. So yeah. So
Can
that's
I ask the group something?
yeah.
Has anybody done a class or has seen somebody after you've sampled them?
Like
Like
the Chevy way all the way.
Yeah.
I haven't yet because it's brand new.
Okay.
But the first class that I did in that style, everyone, it's kind of like the closest to what it would be, I think, because everyone already had oils and they already had an experience that they could share about. So they came believing already. So every single person, I think there was one who was new, but she ended up buying too, because like it just, every class kind of has a personality. Like if the majority start buying, then everyone just thinks, oh, okay, well, everyone's buying, so it must be good, so I'm going to get it too. I've had classes where someone at the very end just said, well, I'm not going to buy anything today, like out loud in front of everyone. And everyone's like, okay, well, then I'm not going to buy anything, you know? So there is definitely a kind of like a personality for each class. But yeah, so I think that's the closest to what Elise describes that I've seen, and it's been really good. What do you think of just that style of the class? That was your first time with that, right?
Yeah, it's the very first time. Well, it's the really first time I've ever taught a class.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have experience teaching a class with all the
But
other
you've
oils.
seen other
I've
styles.
seen other, yeah, I've
Yeah.
been like, I've seen you teach a class. I saw Grace teach a class, like a make and take.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this one was the most informative one. I liked the part, my favorite part is when you ask the people at your class to write their ailments down and to really go to town and start looking. I think it's really important for them to be engaged and for them to be a part of the process
Mm-hmm.
of looking at what can be best for them rather than just believing you blindly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think there's some real affirmation in that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really like that part of it. The part that I don't like is the work that you have to do ahead of time. I think for me, because it was just such a large group,
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time sampling and writing up the instructions for the sampling, and then the expense that went on in mailing off the sampling was very costly. I didn't think it was going to be that costly.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some really good things about it, and then there's some things that I'm not crazy about.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I've done classes, Elise's class, with no sampling at all, and it was still successful.
Yeah.
But I know, like, her style is more like, it's not like you have a class and then you sample all the people who got invited, but it's just that she's like meeting and sampling people all the time. And then whenever they have a positive experience, she says, okay, I have a class Thursday and Tuesday. Which one can you come to? And so whoever's coming has had the personal positive experience.
Yeah.
So it's different in that way.
Very
So,
different.
yeah.
And the people that bought the kids
They
didn't
weren't sampled.
they're the ones who didn't get the samples for me.
Yeah.
The ones who I sent the samples, I think 80% of them didn't even try it. One of them tried it and liked it and spoke up. And I know she's interested in, and we've been texting, but she didn't buy it. She had to leave. And then the people that actually bought the kids and were really, really intrigued by them, they had no sampling.
Did
So,
the person, because I was kind of in and out getting you books and stuff, and did you do the part where you let people share their positive experience?
yeah. And the only one who really said anything was Jen.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And she said that she's using it for stress. She's like, but you know what? It was, I like it. I can't say that I'm unstressed about it. She's like, but I've been rolling it on since I got it because I really like it. And then she didn't try the deep blue, and the people that I gave the deep blue didn't say anything. And, you know, they were just not wanting to share anything. I think because they didn't try it. You know?
Well, and then did you actually talk to them 2 days later, like the script says?
Yeah, but the thing is that like first of all, it took over a week for them to get the sampling, which I don't even understand.
Mm.
And then I texted them, let me know when you get it. And I crickets. And so then I started contacting people and I said, do you have any questions? Are my instructions clear? No, it's totally clear. I'll try it, and then I called again, went to voicemail, or I sent them a text. Okay. That's all I got was like, okay.
Mm.
They're just not responsive. And I wonder if it's because they're my friends. They felt like, oh yeah, it's just Vicky,
Yeah. And I think it's different if you like run into someone and they're like, oh, my back's killing me. And you're like, okay,
Right.
here's some Deep Blue, try this. It's Monday. Do you think you can try it by Wednesday? I'm going to call you at Wednesday. What time would be a good time? Like you're actually
Right.
making an appointment and you're not waiting for something to arrive, or you're not sure when they're going to use it, or, and yeah, friends are different because, they could feel more like, well, what's the big deal? I'll use it
Who cares?
when I
I'm going to
use
see
it.
you Saturday anyway, or whenever.
Yeah.
It's a
But
big
yeah,
deal. I'm going to be
so
there.
it's a little different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I consider that a very successful class. I feel like people were learning, and yeah, I love that part too. And now you can honestly say this is my favorite part because it really is, right?
It is.
Because
Truly, it speaks to me. It speaks to my personality. It does the things that I feel everybody is going to benefit from, which is basically learning from a text, something written. It's not just me saying, oh yeah, lavender is great for relaxing, put it on. It's, it's the soothing oil. Yeah, that's great. Sounds great.
Mhm.
But if it's right there in the booklet and they're all like, oh yeah, look,
Yeah.
And the book is great because somebody walked away with one. And
they did.
yeah, somebody walked away with one. I think it was Helia, but she bought a kit. So I left it as like, okay, that's just a gift that you don't realize I gifted you. And then Dee Dee, she bought a kit and she's actually getting she bought a bigger kit. So she's getting the promo this month. And she had it in her purse and she had it on the chair and her bag was open. And so I looked in and I was like, Dee Dee, give me that book. And then she's like, oh my gosh, am I stealing that book? And I'm like, it looks like that way. And she started laughing. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, girl, it's okay. That's fine.
So one thing that might help is if you just take a Sharpie or on the top and just write class copy.
Yeah.
So I do that sometimes like for catalogs or the Living Magazine, or when I had my little A to Z guides, I would write that. And then it would just be more clear. Because someone did ask me, they're like, so do we get the book? And I was like, oh, no, I just said it's a class copy.
No, but you can buy it from.
Yeah.
And I gifted Tina, my hostess, the woman whose house I was in. She was lovely. She signed up. She's really, really into it. And I gifted her one of the books. And she was so happy. She's like, oh, I love this little book. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And then, like I bought extras because I know people are going to want them. And so I'm just going to have them available. It's just an easier step than having them go try to find it. So, all right, great. So do you want to hear my success and my failure?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Susie, and what was your biggest win this week?
Okay. So my success, well, I mean, not really a success, but kind of a high for me was, the summit, but maybe for a different reason. Because I remember in the beginning, Missy and Carly would tell me how important it was to go to events. And I was just like, why would I pay money, to go? It's like, you go and you just tell me like what you learned, I just didn't understand like the value of investing in your business. And like, why would I take the $20 I made and, pay for this event? And, but in the beginning, I actually didn't see the benefit like as well as you guys have seen it like so early on. But I trusted them and I went, and I've just been like making it a habit of going and then going to this summit and taking that picture with everyone. I was just kind of blown away that there were that many people that, like I think like 10 or 15 of them I had never even met. I don't even know their names or anything, but they're on my team, And so I think that was a highlight for me. And then also having Dave be there. That's the first event that he's been to. And, he had a positive experience and, he sat with Waleen's husband, and they like the same person. Can you guess which speaker they like the best?
One of the guys, of course.
No, it was the
Oh, the tree
scientist,
lady.
the tree lady. Uh-huh.
I loved her
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
I just said
because
it. I loved
she's not doTERRA, right?
her. Mhm.
And they just loved just how she's all about sustainability, and and they just liked her. So yeah, so that was a high for me. And then the low is like, I'm just like, this morning I woke up and my throat was hurting, and I've had a headache for like 3 days, and I've been doing all the things, and like it kind of gets better, and then it kind of comes back, and I just feel kind of worn down. Like both my girls are home now, and so it's like a full house now, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, like I realize how easy it is when they're gone, because they had to, move out of their dorm rooms. And so all their stuff is in the house. So we're like going through their stuff and like reorganizing their room and just doing all the stuff. And I'm like, I have no time to do my business. Like I haven't done anything. So so I'm like, oh, this is what it's like for normal people. So kind of learning and like just thinking, oh gosh, I haven't done any income producing stuff, in the last few days. And I need to just kind of schedule and time block and get more focused again. But then, it's kind of also really great that I can do that, and it's okay that it's not like my pay gets docked if I do that. It's just, maybe I didn't grow those few days, but I'm still getting paid. So yeah, so it's like good and bad. So anyway, I wanted to just take the last few minutes to ask you if you have any questions just in general about some of the skills we've been learning, and also about the Rank Advance chart, if you've been filling that out and you're not clear on your goal for May and kind of where you stand. Maybe someone wants to like let us pull up their chart and look at it and just understand it together. And what's the other thing? And then I just want to ask kind of a general question, because I've heard you guys mention, and it's not just in this group, but the other group too, that they feel like, not that it's so much like fast paced, but kind of what you're saying, Angie and Vicki, is that it's like hard to feel like it's totally solidified. And like, what is going to help that? Is it better like if we do one skill every 2 days, or, break down the skills, or like what would help that kind of issue that you're bringing up? So let's just start with that real quick. So like, what do you think would help? Is it the pace? Is it the actual assignments are too big? What would help? Or do you know? Kathy?
For me, when I read what you want us to do in the morning, and it takes me a while to process it, and then I have my scheduled time in the afternoon, and I'm watching the video or reading what I'm supposed to read. But I feel like I'm doing my presentation late because, or in the last hour, because it's taken me that long to kind of process it and get my head wrapped around what I want to do. So I think a day on that would help with that, the processing, the actually learning, maybe giving us time to look at it again, and go from there. That would be my suggestion.
So giving you the assignment, but giving you like 2 days to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about other people?
I would probably have to agree on that, just because I know for me personally, it's like I'll read it in the morning, go to work, have to read it again, and then if I need to read up on something, then I feel like I'm spending my time doing that. But also I'm kind of like a little bit of a note taker when I do my assignments, just because I feel like I'm kind of better planned, but then I just get scatterbrained. I've kind of always been like that. So I think like for me, it's like I have to write out notes to kind of keep myself on task to make sure I've hit this point, this point, this point. So that's my point of view.
Would it be, is having an assignment for 2 days the same as having smaller assignments each day?
I was going to say two things. The first is I only have maybe like 2 or 3 hours a day, like that I can do things without my kids being around. And so in the afternoons, I try to do the assignments, or at least everything except for posting the video. And what I realized is the time it takes me, not like necessarily like watching the video, say it's like a 5-minute video, it's only 5 minutes, but then processing it, and then the time it takes me to think through and write out what I would say in it takes me time. And then I don't actually have time to really do anything other than the assignments. The other thing.
Wait, so are you saying it takes 2 to 3 hours to do the assignments every day?
No, it'll take my afternoon. Well, it kind of depends, because sometimes during the afternoon I have to do some other stuff because it's during regular business hours for some other stuff I'm doing for my parents. So then, I'll do it in the evening or whatever. So that time is split, not just with doTERRA, but whatever other stuff I need to do.
So how much time is it taking overall?
Overall, I would say maybe an hour.
Okay.
For me to like just get settled, process, and if I could sit down and do it, hour at most.
Max. Okay.
But then the other thing I was going to say, if we were to have 2 days to do it, for me, I know it would not work out for me if it was like, okay, here's today's assignments, and then tomorrow it's like, okay, just keep practicing or keep working on yesterday. That wouldn't work for me. I need a little bit more accountability and a little more like, so maybe it is smaller assignments, or maybe for me, what comes to my mind is, say we stick to the way that assignments are posted, but then the following day, it's maybe additional, like in addition to building off of that, whether it's a different way to practice or reflection questions on it or something like that, if that makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's good. That's good feedback. Okay.
Just to piggyback on what Angie said, I think for me, I think the way that the daily assignments have been scheduled and the rhythm that we've been going in works for me. If I have more time, I'm still going to wait until the end to do it. Like, more time isn't going to help me. Like, an extra day isn't going to help me in the least. It'll probably make it worse, because in my head, I'll be like, oh, I have all the time in the world to do it. And then I get caught up doing, everything else I need to get done. And I still won't have enough time to do the assignment. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah. That's what I would think. Like, if someone says, oh, you have 4 days to do this, I'd be like, okay, then I'm going to wait till the 4th day to do it.
I said, oh God, I have so much time. Let me do all these other things that are like a priority. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think what Angie says has a lot of value, that not necessarily adding yet another brand new topic, but maybe extending that topic with an added challenge.
Okay.
And then maybe introducing something else. You know what I mean? But going like full throttle from beginning to end in one day. I think that's it. I think the challenge that I'm kind of hearing is it's not so much the assignment. It's that it's a lot of information one day. It's a lot of different information the next day. It's a lot of different information the following day. So by the 5th day, our intake has been so much that, just like Angie said, she's like, I don't even know what my biggest challenge was this week.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not that it's hard. I don't know.
I gotcha. I know what to do. So the challenge for me is that, it's a program they created, but I'm totally tweaking it like more and more. So, but I hear you. I think I know what to do, what to try this week, and then you can let me know how it goes.
Oh, the other like side note to that is, I do know that a lot of it, it has to be lived out, right? I mean, that's where the practice is going to come, and that's where we're going to really understand it and all of that. But the other thing too is, like for instance, the whole part about doing classes and stuff, because I'm not really in a place where I'm doing classes. I was sort of like, is that okay? Or so there was, for a little bit of time, I was kind of beating myself up a little bit, like, oh, I need to be doing classes. But then at the same time, I felt like it didn't apply to me in this season. So I was feeling a little stuck. So there was something else I can't recall, but I felt like, oh, that doesn't really apply to me right now. So can I really do that? Or like, I think somebody had said, oh, all of my people are fairly new, so I don't have any wellness consults to schedule because they've been done, but I don't know that there's anything that can be done about that.
Yeah, so that's fine. I mean, you'll just have to kind of adapt it to your own situation, but these are the skills that everyone needs to at least know for the business. And so whether you're actually using that skill or not, it might not be right now, but it's good for you to just know this is the script for the class. This is how you talk to a hostess for a class, and, and just kind of the steps and the process. And so just practice it. And, you don't have to book a class when you learn that skill, but just know it. And I think that'll just help you in the long run. And chances are, even if, actually some people build their business totally online or just one-on-ones. But I think the chances that you're going to teach a class at some point is pretty high. So, so it's fine. And you can just say so, in the post that, I'm not really doing classes, but I'm going to learn it, and it's fine. It's totally fine.
Angie, just to jump in, is there anybody near you, like physically near you, that's doing the business, or somebody that you think you may want to pull into the business that you can practice with? Like, for example, I've only done one wellness follow-up, but even before that, my friend Grace, she's in my upline, and I practiced with her. Like, I pretended she was the customer, and I had like the book, and I did the whole thing. And I was really nervous at first because I'm like, this is so hokey. Like we're role playing. Who does that? So lame, But I have to say, it was really worthwhile, and it really came in handy at the time that I did have that one wellness thing. So maybe, maybe you don't have the whole class, but even if you have your husband, say, hey, do you have like 15 minutes?
He'll be like, he wouldn't know what feedback to give me. All the people that I've enrolled are all like not local people. They actually all happen to be I'm originally from Memphis, and so they're all like out. Yeah. Like out. Yeah. But I have actually thought about, is there someone just local? And Susie's probably the closest, but even then Cypress is, I think it's a little bit far for the local people that I know to go to because they have little ones. Honestly, for me too, to drive out to Cypress is like, it's really not far, but then it kind of feels far because I literally leave the minute I put my kid down. And so it's like wherever is,
How would you feel practicing like a wellness consult on Zoom? I'll practice it with you. If you tell me, Vicki, I have these 2 hours, does that work? I'll practice a wellness consult on Zoom with you.
Yeah. I actually feel good about the wellness consults now. It's the teaching part that
You know what? And I've been dying because one of the things that I have to do, I've never done a Zoom class before. and I was trying to practice one with Grace, and we had all kinds of technical difficulties. I couldn't get her signed in. I couldn't do that. I was like, it just drove me nuts. Thank goodness I'm trying to practice before, so I know what to do. Like, deal with all these like annoying little things prior to. So we can totally practice like a Zoom class if you want. I have more time available. I mean, I only have one child instead of 4, and she's pretty independent. So she can be doing her homework in the afternoon if your kids are napping or whatever. And I can totally accommodate my time with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's something that you might want to, that interests you or whatever, but I think it might be worth a shot. So if you're interested,
I would love to have you teach it and then let me watch it.
You know what? Yeah. And then yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have to learn how to do it so you can be my customer. I'll schedule something with you.
Okay.
That sounds good. Okay, good.
Okay, awesome. I love it. Okay, so I just want to show you something because I think maybe it's been a little bit unclear on the page. So you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So Friday, so what I'll do every day is I'll put the assignment here, and I put the link in because someone told me, oh, it's like so hard for me to always just go find the link. So I put it right there.
Okay.
And then, so you just go through and you're just reading. You don't say anything on this one, okay? You just read it and you go, yeah, I read it, and just click like. So I can see, hey, Sherry and I saw that, okay? So, and you're gonna do that before 10 o'clock in the morning, okay? Just really try to look in the morning, because if you look at it later in the day, it really does make a difference because you're not like thinking about it at all. But if you read it at least in the morning but you don't do it, your mind is already kind of thinking about it and figuring stuff out, and it's almost like you're doing it in the morning. So definitely do it before 10. That's going to be the best. And then there's going to be another post. We've got a lot in between this time, but I'll put the day, it's Friday, and this is where you come in, and after you read that other one, you come here and you say, okay, these are my intentions today, and just list them. These are my intentions. And then you come back to the same post at 10 p.m., before 10 p.m., and then you say, okay, this is how my day went. And you can, I feel like, I don't know, do you want the specific questions? Does that help? Or is it okay if I just kind of leave it open and you guys kind of know how to debrief your day?
I need the questions.
Okay. How about other people? You want the questions?
I could go either way.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll put the questions in. So, so that's that. So I just want to let you know, because some people are like posting their intentions on that first post, or they're putting, like it's like all over. And so then I look and I'm like, oh, I don't see anything from so-and-so, but it's because they put it in the other one. So is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So we just have like a few minutes left. Does someone want to look at their chart? Are you guys clear on your May goals? We have one person who earned the Elite Retreat. Sunday just earned it. She's enrolled over 10 people, I think like 14 people, and she hit rank last month, and this month she already hit it. So so she qualified for Elite Retreat. So, and a lot of you guys are super close, so just keep chugging along. And if you're not sure what you need to do specifically for you to hit, then make sure you reach out to me this week so that we can get that clear.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, Kathy? I think you're muted.
Okay, so I've been, I hit director once, and then I've been manager a couple months. So to qualify, I would have to hit director this month, and then go on up to.
No, so since it's an Elite Retreat, the lowest rank is Elite. So you have to hit,
Okay.
for you would have to hit Elite once, either this month or next month.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then you need 9 enrollments, April, May, and June.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other questions or unrelated to Elite Retreat?
You need 9, I have one. You need 9 enrollments every month?
Combined.
Oh, combined.
Combined. April, May, and June. 100 PV enrollments. Okay. And those are going to qualify you for the incentive trip too. So once you start getting 25 points, they'll send you an email saying, hey, you got 25 points. And